We are live. Happy January, friends. It's April, and I'm here with Wes. We're together again. It's been a minute. How are you feeling, my friend?
I'm doing good. I've been healing all New Year, um, transitioning and healing. So it's been something definitely. But I'm good. I'm good. I'm here, but I'm at peace.
Good. Oh,
So
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that.
how are
I
you?
I'm doing okay. I feel the same. Like I like hearing what you're saying that you are at peace, and that's important. I I just want to dive on in. Wes is commuting right now, you guys. He keeps going to my house, my home, LA, and driving down the street past my house, and I get jealous every time. But we thank you guys for being patient. And I wore my pink because you guys may or may not know that I am an AKA, and so we had a Founders Day. So I'm happy to celebrate some history. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about resilience, but also just check in. Wes was saying he's at peace. I'm at peace, and this week for me, Wes, and I hadn't even, told you, but my mom's birthday was January 12th. And so, we've dealt with losses and she's not here in her physical sense, but it was just like a week of peace. And my uncle called me on her birthday to say, I'm just calling to tell you your mother's proud of you.
Oh, oh, I love that.
Isn't that nice?
It is. It is. I don't know.
And we've been talking a lot, Wes and I have just been talking about, just finding your space where you can be grounded in the midst of like so much turmoil. And so hearing that peace has come is a good thing. And that's what we're talking about with resilience. So when we talk about books and things, I've been reading Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown. And Wes and I have been bringing you books and topics that are about so many different authors, and they're not always all black, but
Yeah.
it's about humanity, right? The human experience.
Yeah. I've actually tapped back into the four agreements starting this year. Um, again, just going back to my peace, going back to that happiness. You know, life has been testing, but at the same time, the books and the reading, it does its own level of healing. So
It really does. And that's, you guys, our intention for 2022 moving forward. We're so excited to connect with you all about giving you the space, the safe space. And we want to expand the space. We want to reach out to you guys even more. So let us know some things you might want to hear from us. Let us know about some guests you might want to have us bring on, because we're going to go ahead and curate a list of guests for the entire year. And so if there are people in your circle, if there are people who are experts, if there are people who have life experiences that you guys think Wes and I would connect with and you would like to hear from, let us know. And
so
everything
April,
black, well, everything black.
yeah, everything black, make it black. Um, April, so I just wanted to kind of share this with you. Um, I'm up here in LA and I'm doing this project, right? And part of the project is a video, and they're like, introduce yourself, right? And so I do my introduction. My name is Wesley Hamilton. I'm the founder and director. Da 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 da. And they was like, all right, let's do it again. So I said, well, I really do have an introduction of who I am, but I don't know if it's. I said, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna do it, and if you like it, we're gonna go with it. If you don't, we can do something else. And they was like, no, go ahead, go ahead. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I'm the representation that I could not find. I am the breaker of my own mental restraints, and I'm free enough to own my name, Wesley Hamilton. And I'm like literally, that I am poem has been like stuck in my head more and more, and that has been processing of my, my growth and my healing as well. Of just
Mhm,
talking with such conviction of who I am,
mhm,
um, and then even leading with that in professional projects. Like to me, that was a big thing, and of course, um, the 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 culture around the project allows me to feel like it will be part of it.
Yes.
You see what I mean? And so it's like it was just it was good. I mean, I think once I did that, everybody else was like, shit, I don't even. They was like stuck to their
But
seats waiting. It was good. So to put power into people just by speaking your own truth is is something when you hear it, but it's amazing when you see it, and you could just tell like the shift in the room. The ownership of every individual became more and more true as I was speaking in the
Mhm.
room. And
Mm,
and yeah, I just had to share that with you because that's the power of that poem and that. Whew, yeah,
yes. Amen. I also noticed you had some of the poem on your new website, which I have to tell you looks like the bomb. I was showing Marissa, I was like, look at what's this new website. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna step up my website game. So but
yeah,
Trish and Aida like gave it to us and they really helped us understand the power of knowing who you are. And so Wes and I are going to dive into that with you guys this year too. That I am poem. We have a template for it. We want to curate it in such a way that it'll be easy for you all to have access to and develop it yourself. Because when you know who you are and you stand in who you are, Wes, thanks for sharing your example because your very existence and changes the room, changes the atmosphere. And I was just sharing this week, I read a quote from a Black doctor on Twitter. He actually did a whole thread. He's a doctor at a VA hospital, and a elderly Black man was staring at him like crazy. And he's like, "Why are you looking at me so crazy?" And he said, "I've been coming here for 50 years. I've never seen a Black doctor. I've never had a Black doctor treat me." And that man just talked so highly. He spoke so highly of the doctor. And the doctor was like, my very existence was therapeutic. Right?
that's beautiful. That's definitely beautiful.
Yes. And moving forward, that's this platform. Our very existence, Wes's very existence as a Black man, as a young Black man, because, young as anything to me under 80. But as a Black man who's disabled, my existence as a Black woman, as a mature Black woman who's up in age, we don't always see a reflection of ourselves. And we want everyone to know that there are others who look like us, who act like us, who are a part of who we are. And if our very existence can bring support and help and healing to others, that's what we want to do. And we want to invite other people in. You see, there are a lot of people who come to the table who we want to talk to and learn from. That I Am poem came from experts, they came from other people who shared it with us, and they gave us access to it. That's the power. We had access to it. And we want to shift the atmosphere in that way.
No, definitely access. I think that's a good word. Yeah, if some more people had access to things, then life would be better. You, yeah, I like how you use that. We definitely were given access to something that is powerful, and now we get to share it.
And use it and modify it and create it. I guess I'm gonna have to go on my website and put it up. I need actually your person, Wes. You um, but putting it up, and that's why I wanted to share with Wes, like it was my mother's birthday, because I am the daughter of Gail Teresa. I am the granddaughter of Lillian Lorraine. I am an extension of Vesta Butler, an escaped slave from Tennessee. I'm 13 generations in. There's power in that when you understand like that is a permanent part of who you are and not our circumstances.
Yes, no, definitely. Oh, I love it. I love it. I needed this fulfillment.
Oh,
It's been
wonderful.
a yeah, April. It's just been crazy. I'm trying to get myself like I don't know, a week of just peace from somewhere. I think I want to go to Costa Rica. Um,
I love Costa Rica.
and I plan on doing it maybe in a week or so. I don't know, but really, really find that reset and come back. And just that poem and things like that is just the way to start. But even just dialing back into my old reading, um, I think it's going to help me because it was a lot of things that just was powerful to me a while back, um, that I think that'd be even more powerful now, you know. So
I like you
yeah,
saying that. Things that were powerful to you before will be even more powerful now. It's like the practices, right?
yeah, yeah. It's
Putting
like
them in
you,
place.
yeah, you started to put the things, started to practice the things that you learned, and now to see them in the way that they came into fruition, and then go back and then see what's next. In a sense, you know, it's like because that is the part that you didn't really grasp because you wasn't there yet. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Now it's
So
necessary. It's needed.
yeah, to hear the full plan, not just the beginning steps that you need to help you. You know, and it's just like that in life and with everybody in their journey. Sometimes we just take I guess the beginning lessons, and then we find ourselves comfortable, right? Because we
Hmm.
don't know how to get uncomfortable to find out what's the rest,
Hmm.
after you've created whatever those beginning lessons has taught you. So I'm ready for it. You know, I think I've been tested a lot. I'm like, losing my grandmother at the end of last year. Um, it really just made me proud, right? Like I wasn't mad as much as I celebrated, but now it's like now you think about how can you create that same legacy, you know? And
Mm, yes.
so yeah, yeah,
I'm trying to so you guys, we've spoken about Wes's grandmother a lot because that was kind of one of the tenets. Like if you can't come to my grandmama's house and talk to me and break bread with me and be a part of my life, then I don't know how much of an ally, I don't know how much you really do support me. And um Wes's grandmother, I'm assuming kind of lived what we would call the hood.
yeah,
Wes is,
definitely.
when I talk about my house, like when I tell you Wes is driving down the street, like I am on Crenshaw and Rodeo. Like I grew up on Venice and Crenshaw. I used to take the 210 Crenshaw bus to go to school. Like I am not, and if you can't
Yeah,
hang out on
and
Crenshaw,
yeah,
Rodeo, and on Vernon and Slauson, around where my family is, then
that's not
how much
real.
why are you? It's not real, right?
um, I think it's Lisa Nichols, maybe, and she talks about her grandmother. She says her grandmother told her, um, I guess she was about 96, something around then, and she said, when you get to that age, you just want to be able to sit in a rocking chair, um, because you've created all the stories that led to you being able to share those stories in that rocking chair.
Mm,
And so it's like when I think about my grandmother, you always see her in a rocking chair. You always see her in the chair. But it was the stories that was created in that moment because she had already lived the life that she needed. And now the remaining of her life was the seeds that she had to plant to create the legacy. And when you think about it, it becomes something that you want to do for your life. How do
yeah,
I create the stories that after the age of 50 I can share for 40 plus years.
yeah,
you know like you know how you look at how you look at stories, obituaries, and you're like, man, this person did it. It was so many things that I learned about my grandmother that I didn't know because
mhm.
she was a lead chef for 40 plus years. Like I wonder why she cooked so good. Like I mean, but
Ah,
I never knew, and um, but that was her past life. She had retired 91. I was born 88. So it was like that wasn't for me, right? Like that was for
right.
the people before me. But the person that I knew was what I needed, right?
Yeah. Mm,
But now learning everything else, it's like fulfillment because you have people in your life that want to share everything about themselves, right? Or you have some people in your life that care more about how they make your life and impact your life,
Mm,
and then their story just tells itself in a
yeah.
sense, and I learned that was one of my biggest lessons. I was like, man, I see all this stuff she's doing, but every day she made sure that she just impacted my life because she had already had a story for me,
Mm,
and some people are constantly trying to create a story, and it's like you should want to create your story where after a while the rest of your life is just telling it.
mm. I like that. That's a good quote. The rest of your life is just sharing your story, right? That's how we learn. We learn so much through narratives. We learn so much through, especially in Black culture, it's oral tradition. Like that's how our history was taught to us and passed down. And although times have changed and there's written history and there's social media, but Black folks are some good storytellers. And we got that from our African side because that's how we share. I like that, Wes.
Yeah, definitely. So I definitely found a lot more good in the troubled times that I've been facing in the last couple of weeks. Just all around found lessons and everything. So I'm grateful for it. I'm just grateful. Life is, you can't question life.
LAX is closed
Right.
to
Um,
the general public
and
Right.
so
24
when you
hours a
when
day,
you realize
7 days
that
a week.
you
No
just
entry is
you
allowed
allow it
except
to
for
play
airline
itself.
passengers and persons meeting.
And that's something I've been studying to resilience and reading. I read Adam Grant, Think Again, over the holidays. Actually, listen to it. It's a short listen to, and we'll share these books. I'll put them in the chat for you guys. The Four Agreements is like one of those foundational books. Don Louise Miguel, Brene Brown. She's someone who is a thought leader, but she also is opening the door for others, and she's using her privilege, her white privilege, to lift up the platforms for those who are not given access for and that's why I support what she does. But in reading Adam Grant, he was talking about resilience as like a muscle that you build, and that you don't have a set amount of resiliency, that it's something that you develop over time. And that's what I'm hearing, like in your story, Wes, like we're building resilience, and we're building this muscle that helps us to move forward in new ways, not just the old ways.
Yeah, definitely. It's 2022 now, so we have to focus on what we want to do in our lives, but also make it clear enough where other people start to create, the lives that they want, especially when you're leaders. And who was it? I don't want to. I think it's like Patrice Washington. I love like dropping names, but she said, as a leader, you will always have people waiting in line for you to lead them.
Mm,
And when she said that, and the premises was because she was saying you need to take time to make sure you're healed, make sure that as a leader, you mentally you're always there, because you hold so much as being a leader, or opening up doors. Um, but that was just something like, and for anyone that's listening that is just looking at 2022 leadership, being able to make or trying to make changes in your life, generational changes, whatever it is, understand that your worth and your value matters as much as the impact you're trying to create. Because there's because of who you are, there's always going to be someone that can take something from you. The way that you live your life and knowing your truth, it's always going to gravitate. But you have to be true to yourself. So, no, it was something that for me, it was, yeah, that's why, lately I've been taking more time because I know that I'm a leader, and I know that there will always be someone waiting for me to lead them. And so giving myself more time has kind of helped, even in my resiliency and because resiliency isn't nothing if your mental health isn't in check too. Because
That is a word. I had a conversation with my partner, with Quincy, yesterday about this resiliency, and we had a pretty rich conversation in talking about, as a culture, Black folks are resilient. And my uncle called. He's like, watch the Emmett Till show, Women of the Movement. That's another suggestion that I bring to you guys. It's on ABC. It's Mamie Till's story, Emmett Till's mother. But we're survivors, and we are resilient, but we're dying. We have high blood pressure, we have diabetes, we have so much stress from the world, from oppression, from the system, from just the racism that we experience. And that's Wes and I have always aligned on that. Like, let's help each other be our healthiest self. Let's help our community be healthy and whole so we can be even more resilient.
yeah, no, definitely. That's just the way we got to do it. But no, you're right. Um, we have authentic resilience.
I
We
love
have
that.
to be resilient. It's kind of like how people are born with. We were kind of already born with a shield. Um, some people shields were broken. Some were probably torn in half.
Mm-hmm.
But being around other people allowed you to piece yours together and navigate through a world that you had to be constant resilient just to live.
Just to live.
So,
And not even
um,
thrive, right? Just to live, just to
just to
survive.
live. Yeah, if you want to thrive now, that's a whole nother story. It doesn't just take resiliency, you
Right.
know. It takes a whole new level of ment- mental strength, accepting people for who they are, uh, knowing that people can change, knowing that you can be the change. Um, because once you can be resilient and you're basically being able to bounce back, right? You're
Yep.
bouncing back.
Yep.
But um, at the same time, you need so much more than that, when you're trying to thrive because you just can't bounce back. Like, it's more like, I don't even want to bounce just because of the situation that I'm in. I'm just going to meet it where it is and keep pushing. And it's like, now
Mhm.
that allows a level of thriving, acceptance, and resilience. And yeah, so it's like, yeah, we already got that small part. So if more people understand how to accept life, stop questioning it, and see people and things for what they are, no matter how it is, um, that thriving aspect, well, then that's when we start to see more peace in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautifully put. And it made me think about the research I was doing this past week or so, where they said people who are resilient, um, there are three P's. This is another guy, Martin Schlegman, and he talked about personalization, permanence, and pervasiveness, and that resilient people don't let things carry over into every part of their lives. Like, that sense of permanence. And I know I've had it where you're just like, life is never going to change. The situation that happened to me is just going to be F it, forget it. I just can't deal. And you're able to like release that. And I love the way you put it. Like, I'm able to bounce back, because that's what resiliency is that ability to come back. But how are you coming back? Sometimes you come back resentful, mad, angry.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, because it's like you don't want to have that same lesson again. But it's the lesson that's taught is you can't change people and things for what they are or who they are, but you can change your reaction to the situation. You
Yeah.
can change your thoughts, your mental to it. Emotion is something that causes a lot in the body. You know, negative. emotions can, you know, so it's just kind of like if people even look at it from that standpoint, it's like how much are you allowing your emotions to be a part of a situation,
Yes.
and you know,
Yes.
and if you allow those emotions to be a part of the situation, are you actually reacting thoughtfully? Are you reacting in a sense that um, it's more like that survival tactic, right? Like it's not so much a resilience, or it's to bounce back, but not how to react, right? Like bounce back, but don't know how to react type of thing, you know. And so, yeah, no, it's definitely important. Um, How to Own Your Own Mind is another book that I will be getting back into this year with Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
Um, it just it talks about the things we're talking about now, you know, just the reaction to things, the not allowing your emotions to shift, um, or be controlled by a situation. Let me put it like that. Yeah, and it all comes with control, like control, self control, and self control is powerful, you know, and it's one of those things that, yeah, once you figure it out, you free yourself. And, but it's a lot of different levels to that, though.
Can
Definitely.
I share this quote with you?
Yep.
This is in me reading Brene Brown's book this past week, and I quoted it. I shared it with the team at Open Up because we do trauma work, trauma informed work. And when you said being in your body, it triggered my memory of this. It's often hard to find our way back into our bodies after anguish. So she was talking about anguish and hopelessness, but when something hits you, not in a physical sense, like when a ball hits you or a brick hits you, it hurts and you fall back, right? When words hit you, when feelings and experiences hit you, you do the same thing, especially if it's something that is so sad, like death, like just really, really bad news. When you hear, I know when I heard the news, I crumbled, like I physically crumbled and I cried when I heard the news, like my mom passing away, or when I was there, I just cried and cried and cried. So it's hard to find your way back into your bodies after anguish. And this is why so much effective trauma work today is not only about reclaiming our breath or feelings and our thinking, but also getting our bones back and returning to our bodies. And that's why I push, breathe, be
Yeah.
physical, meditate.
Definitely love that. Definitely love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you share that with us and everybody. I really like that. It's
Yeah.
sometimes hard to get back into your body.
And that's kind of like what
Yes.
we do. I know Wes has to get ready to go, so I want to land it on like his disabled, but not really. Like he started it because let's get back into our bodies.
Yeah. Get back
That's
into our bodies. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you just can't let something. Uh, what is that? Casper. Casper was like one of my favorite movies as a kid.
the friendly
Casper the
ghost.
Friendly Ghost.
Yeah.
You remember when, it's like the machine that allowed them to get back into their bodies to be their true selves.
Oh wow, that's such a good visual. Oh, homework, everybody. Go watch the Casper movie. I'm gonna look for that clip, Wes.
You remember when he was like, I wanted to, like he really wanted to be alive and real. And it was like his mission was to get back into his body, and if you just change the perception a little bit, it can go into reality. Sometimes we get out of our bodies and have an experience, but in order for us to feel alive again, we got to get back in.
And how do we get out of our bodies, you guys? We start watching too much TV. I'm saying all these things
Yeah,
because they're extremes. No, I'm not casting any shame, blame. because I do it, but we watch TV, we get in social media, we drink, we do drugs. I mean, we get into addictions, escapist behavior. And we might think we're feeling alive, but there's a lot of life out there, you guys, just from traveling, from dealing with your emotions
You
and
see,
feeling
you see, you see my name, right? You see my name. I did that on purpose.
worldwide.
I'm
I
speaking
love
that into,
it.
now worldwide west. So
So as we close this down in that vein, Wes, you guys let us know. Like we want to come to the people. So if we'll continue to do this, but we're hoping to look into doing podcasts and actually the world's opening up. If we could travel in a healthy way, we'll come to you guys, and we would like to bring you guys to us. What's going to Costa Rica? I'm like thinking we should do a retreat in Costa Rica.
yeah, we should do a Costa Rica retreat. I'm down with that.
That would be nice, huh? Yeah. So, Wes is trying to get back to. I can't even talk. First of all, you guys, me being from LA and living in Atlanta for 12 years. I'm not a Steelers fan per se, but I live in Pittsburgh, and everyone in Pittsburgh is a Steelers fan. And I guess Kansas City Chiefs. It's the Chiefs and Steelers today, right? So,
Yeah, you remember when you cut that game off last time?
I couldn't even watch it. It was so sad.
LAX is closed to the general public 24
I
hours
just
a
Yeah,
went
day.
to watch it as
so
soon as the game started.
No entry is allowed except
that's
for
why
I
I'm
have
airport
ready to
passengers, a person's meeting,
listen.
accompanying,
That's why
or
I'm ready to
assisting
get
them.
on this plane
Airport
and watch it
personnel
go
use
down in
only
person.
requires their
you guys don't hate on him for those who are in Pittsburgh, but everywhere else, just know that that game is happening today. It's going to snow. It has snowed throughout the country. We're getting a lot of snow, so we want you guys to stay safe and dry. And thank you for listening to this conversation on resilience and us checking in. We're real excited on, bringing even more. So come in February and listen and check us out. Take deep breaths, stay in your bodies. And Wes, I'm sure you'll be posting pictures of the game.
Everything, everything. So stay tuned, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Much love.
All right. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.